She's kicking me out, guys.
Yeah.
She's kicking me out.
She should have moved out about 10 years ago, people. 10 years ago. Shernorva, you cannot be serious. Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Literally like that. I'd be like, what do you mean? Like, come on.
Yeah.
I'm an adult.
Got me at age 19.
20.
Yeah, that's a good one. 20. Oh, sorry.
The AoKs, the happy owners of AoKs. We're not just family but friends. Have a laugh, we have some fun, just serious stuff, and when we're done,
Prepare for bed? Yeah.
and when we're done, do it all over again. AoKs, the happy owners of AoKs. We're not just family but friends. AoKs, the happy owners of Kent.
Hi guys, it's Norva here, and I am part of the Two Norvas.
Yes.
What's the other part of Norva?
Shernorva.
Yeah.
Shernorva.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're here on the sofa again. You know, surname is Abiona. Abby on a sofa.
Do you get it?
Abby on a.
I think they got it. I think they got it.
Yeah.
I think you got it, man.
So we're on the sofa again, and this time we're going to be going through some questions, giving honest answers, give you a chance to kind of learn a little bit about how I think, how this man works.
How I think too, but it's just going to be a fun discussion as well. Just
Okay,
us
so
spend
she's
some
saying it's
time
going to be
together.
fun. Look out for fun. Somebody might be crying, but let's see.
Hopefully. Okay, so I've got my questions here, and let's start. So, is there something you really regret not doing?
Yes. For me, one of the things that I regret, although I love my life now, is not living a single life. Yeah, because for me, I went from my mom's house, living with my mom and grandmom, one my two sisters, into a marriage at age 19. So went and was living with a guy who the relationship turned out abusive. We got married when I was still living with a guy. I got married. Here's the product of this marriage, Brown. Yeah. But after that relationship came to an end, and I moved to the UK, I moved in with my aunt and uncle. And then from there, I moved in after I got married to my lovely husband, Sergi, into this home. And so I wish that I had the opportunity to just see the world more. Yeah. Like have that, like gain more independent experience. I've gained a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience, but yeah, it would have been nice to have some space. Yeah, not a chick, no a child. Yeah.
And actually, that's something that you've mentioned to me before about like as a young person, I should just go and like live my life and experience now and enjoy the season. Cause
No, you know what?
There's a time when
otherwise you'd be like me from house to house.
Family. Yeah, yeah. Next question. When did you know you were a woman?
She said woman. Yeah. When did I know I was a woman? Actually, you know, I thought by the time you get to 18, you would feel like a woman. Yeah. I think I was always a mature person, so I was having mature conversations from the time I was like 13, 14, and thinking about the rest of my life and being responsible. So if you had asked me then, I would have said, I think I'm already thinking like a woman. But I think when I was married, maybe about a year, within the first 6 months to a year of being married, that's when it hit me that I am a woman, because I'm now living in a house with a man, whether I'm happy, sad, things are going good or not. We have a refrigerator or not. Well, we did not have a refrigerator for a while. We just have to kind of work on this. There is no go in the fridge by mommy, go in the fridge by granny. Yeah, you
so
have
like the
to,
responsibility that came with.
Yeah, I had to, whether I like it or not, whether I'm happy or not, I had to make decisions. That was in, and some of the decisions was in my best interest, and some of them were not. But because I had to make decisions, then I realized, you know what, Nova, this is the time. And so one of the big decisions that I made was to make sure that I start to educate myself. Yeah, because I hadn't done a great job before. I mean, all those times I'm dyslexic, and all those times I didn't even know I was dyslexic, but I knew that there were some issues which I was just kind of sweeping it along. But I decided to push hard and do some stuff for me, you know. So, I would say so. I was about 20 actually.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, that's my age.
Yeah.
Should I start feeling like a woman now?
Move out.
She's kicking me out, guys.
Yeah.
She's kicking me out.
She should have moved out about 10 years ago, people. 10 years ago.
Yeah. I want to say that this is a new thing, but it's really not. It's really not. Okay, next question. What's your 2 biggest pet peeves?
I don't like people lying. I can't stand like people telling blatant lies. I find it very frustrating. I suppose, I don't know, maybe I'm thinking about it as you're asking the question. Maybe another one might be like if people are going too slow with stuff. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't.
She's like, why have you not got this yet? Why are you not doing it? Or, do you know what? Another one.
Okay.
I've got more pet peeves for her. When you're looking at life, you're like, can these people not just make the decision? Like, life is short.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen. Like, just make a decision, try it anyway, go, throw yourself off the deep end and, like, have a go. If it doesn't work out, then, you know, you tried it.
Well, if you throw yourself off the deep end, you've done really well, because I don't know how you do that. but I get your point. Yeah,
I don't want to say off the cliff.
Yeah, so. I know. So then you're like in the deep end, off the deep end, around the deep end.
Yeah.
But I get your point. Yeah, I think I like to do things properly, and I'm not saying that I do everything the way that I want to, but because I've had a lot of things happen in life, with
brushes
health
with death
and
stuff,
like I don't know, about 12 brushes with death and stuff. I am like, you know what? Let me do all that I need to do in a timely manner and not waste time. And now I realize that I can do a lot more than maybe I thought years ago. Yeah, within a short space of time. Yeah. So, yeah, what about you?
I don't know. I was like, what about you?
You don't like to see people's eyes dirty.
That's true. I do that a lot, but like not random people. I wouldn't just go and dig out by your eyes.
No, you wouldn't go and clean it out, but you'd be like,
I'd be like, can I? Yeah, or like your ears. Like I'll go and be like, you need to clean inside your ears. Like they're a bit dirty. Let me think. What else is a pet peeve?
The toilet. Yeah, you don't like the toilet seat left up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I heard something about, and this might be true, might not be, but like when you flush the toilet, the germs go up in the air and they like land on things. So I was like, germs from the toilet are landing on my toothbrush and everyone else's. So no, you have to close the toilet seat. Like it's not a thing. I'm sorry, men out there, close the toilet seat. I just can't. I can't. Don't flush with it open, and women as well. Close the toilet seat. Yeah, that is too. Yeah.
I just told you.
Yeah. No, actually, I've got another one as well. Another thing I don't like, right, is when you clean something up and then someone comes just after you and put something back in that place. I'm like, but I just finished. Yeah. But I think that's just a universal pet peeve for a lot of people.
Yeah. But I suppose when you feel like, especially if you feel like you work hard.
And
Yeah.
you're like, my blood centers. I even put fragrance there for it to smell nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's home most of the time, so she must be talking about us.
I didn't call names, okay? I didn't call names.
Not taking prisoners.
Could have been anyone. It could have been anyone.
Before you ask me another question, I have a question for you.
Okay, tell me the questions.
Okay, I'll tell them the question and you could answer it. What are you looking forward to when you have your own place?
Freedom! No. What am I looking forward to? I think it's the sense of independence, but also the of being like, wow, like I've achieved this for myself as well. Yeah, I think it's more of like the sense of independence and a milestone in life, rather than actually like living on my own and stuff. Because like the more I think about it, I'm like, I love being around my family so much that I think actually I'm gonna miss everyone a lot. Being able to just, you know, run in and talk to this person, ask advice for this or whatever, because I'll be on my own. But yeah, I think it's just that, like, on my days, I have signed the dotted line. I'm moving into my own place. I'm getting my own furniture. I'm doing this milestone in life, and I've achieved it. And wow! So watch this space. When that happens, I'm gonna be like, guys, I got my own place.
Yeah, but she'll still come back so that we can do some videos for you.
Yes, or we'll just do like a Zoom. two faces on Zoom.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, there is always Zoom.
Yep, Zoom's been zooming into everyone's life.
Oh,
right
another
now.
platform might be out then that we prefer, but for now, Zoom.
True. Okay, another question. If someone gave you £10,000, no, £1,000, I read that wrong, and told you to make it £10,000, what would you do?
£1,000 and turn it into £10,000.
Stick it in the sand.
No, I think I would more do something that is information based. So I would create a product that I know. I suppose literally what I do now.
Yeah.
So do something online. It is easier to do the startup of that than something where you need to invest a lot of money. So I'll be putting money into doing the videoing, the marketing, and stuff. And I think that would be the easiest way, because you could turn £1,000 into £10,000. You could do it within a day if you know what you're doing. But let's say,
market right.
If you're not totally clear, you could take a month to 6 months and get that money turning. Yeah.
Quickly. I agree with that, actually, in terms of
What would
putting
you
out
do?
some. No, I agree. Like in terms of putting out some kind of like course or service. Actually, I was thinking as well, you could do a service. So if you pay some that 1,000 into learning how to do something really properly, like building a website or building websites for people like properly all the way in and out, then you could like sell that service for a lot more money. But also I would take some of the money and put it in some like investments as well.
Yeah, about 1,000.
Maybe when I start making money off of the first 1,000,
okay,
I would invest some of that.
So then, what
But like,
if it's a
not
million
low,
they give you?
Investments.
If they give you $1 million and tell you,
I need to get a team.
And tell you, please, can you use this to help? I don't know, like enhance the lives of other people. But bring a return on it, a financial return. What would you do with $1 million?
I think it's similar with the courses. I would want to do some kind of charity work, but specifically in like training other people into getting like better skills so they can go out to work or something like that, or like training people like so they can go and access work and stuff. And then I think I'd also I would definitely have a team working with me as well. So I had someone who, like you, someone who knows about marketing and someone who knows about investing at least on my team. And I think if you have someone who knows about marketing, then your stuff will be marketed properly. You will have clients. Then you can invest some of that money so it can grow. And then maybe someone else that actually as well who can help in terms of charity and impact, that sort of thing as well. Yeah. If it was a little milli, I mean, saying that, I think it's still important whether it's 10,000 or a million, and if it's if you've worked, not if you have or you haven't, but if you have that money and it's for you, I think it's important to treat yourself as well. It's not just like working, and then life goes. You never even got to enjoy any of that money as well. So I think it's important to enjoy yourself, but everything's in percentages as well. Like if you're making 10,000, then okay, let me take 10% of that and see how I can use 10% of that to enjoy myself, to maybe purchase some things for myself, go on holiday or something like that, rather than you paying for something that you can't afford in the long term as well. Yeah.
And I think it brings up a good point as well, because sometimes we don't think about things like these until the opportunity presents itself and you're not ready. So it would be a good thing for you to begin to write down, if I had £1,000 that I was not expecting, what can I do with this? How can I increase this? Then you do the same thing for 10,000. You could do the same for 100,000. The same thing for 1,000,000. So any one of those opportunities present itself, or you begin to make money, you know what, this is the next thing that I want to do.
Yeah. And particularly if you started making money with it, you've gone from 1,000 to 10,000, you're going up, then it's easier to make the jump because you've already started the process. But if you were handed that money, like on a random day, like the lottery, for example, if you won the lottery randomly, then there's people who win the lottery and then lose the money because there's no plan.
And then when they get it, you get so excited about being in this new space, this new first time I have money in my hand, that it overwhelms you and everybody wants to come and ask you and you don't know how to say no. So that's why having a plan before is a good thing. Anyway, next question.
How did it feel to be a mum for the first time?
Well, I was in labor for a long time. So
tell them how long you were in labor for.
Yeah, I was in labor for 5 days with Shernorva.
Is that normal? No, it's not. Okay.
From Monday and then I gave birth Friday morning. So I suppose, you could say 4 days and a half, going to 5, because it was Friday morning early that you were born.
That's 4 days too many.
4 days
too many.
It was a struggle because literally you're having labor pains for days on end. Pain. You can't sleep in the night, you're crying, it was not nice. So when I first became a mom, I was relieved that the baby was out. That was the first thing. But then every time I would go over and look at you in the cot at this little life and just realize, whoa, Norva, this child came out of you, and now for the rest of your life you have to dedicate a part of you to making sure that this child has the best life possible. So
it was really emotional.
It was nice. And I remember I have a friend, Marcella. She was one of the first friends besides family to come and look for you. She's your godmother actually.
She is.
And when she came in, I said like, oh Norva, you make mini you. You did kind of look like mini me. And it's like that, just hearing that and looking at you, then I realized, whoa, she really does look a lot like me. It's like you feel even a deeper bond. Like I was feeling good already with the breastfeeding and all this sort of stuff and holding you close. But then you're like, literally, she could grow up looking like me, get a gap in her teeth. They're like everything in your mind. And so after that, I remember as your hair began to grow, plaiting and twisting and making sure I dress you. Yeah, you were dressed for success even, day one.
Name for success as well. Can you see? Just passing on the legacy. Norva, Shernorva. Just pass on the legacy. Pass on the legacy.
Yeah, so that was a great feeling, and I like in your heart as a mother, you're just determined, like I will protect you, at all costs, and I think I've done a good job of protecting you.
Oh, I love you.
I love you too.
Oh. Okay, next question, guys. Is it easier for you to make the distinction between me being your child and me being an adult? Or actually, how is that process of you being like, okay, this is my child, but this is my adult, but this isn't.
This is my adult child now.
Is an adult. As well.
Yeah. I mean, well, one thing for sure, I can't lift you up no more.
I've been asking, I've been asking.
No, sometimes she just tried to go on my back. Very few times, but those times are fun when I can handle it. But I remember when you were young, I had to be more of a protector and a provider, and now that you're an adult, you are taking responsibility for your life. You're doing things to help put back into the family. We're doing things together. We enjoy each other's company. So, I mean, one of the things that I appreciate is that, like for me as a mom, I enjoy every aspect of motherhood. So there's some people who prefer when they're young, some prefer when they're old. I absolutely enjoy the journey, like from baby straight up, and I just love looking. And just, like when you look at your children and they're making progress, and they, even if you're making a mistake and I can help guide you, you just know where they are now. My life has helped to guide them, so for you, like, I just think that all that you're doing now, I have a part to play in where you're at now and where you're going, and so I want to make sure that you go on the right path. But more as time goes by, I move from being mother caregiver to more friend now. And
we are really close.
But there's some limits as well, because I still sometimes I'm like, Shernorva, you cannot be serious.
Like that. Literally like that. I'd be like, what do you mean? Like, come on. I'm an adult. What do you mean?
I'm an adult. But that doesn't happen much, but when it does happen, she knows, oh Lord, Mommy's not.
I've done something. I've done something. And I probably already know what I've done. If she's like calling me like that, I'd be like, Shernorva, should you have really taken the cookie out of the jar?
But it's fun, and I think because we have a lot of things in common as well, so that makes it even more fun for us. And we both like shopping.
Yes,
and we like traveling as well. We like a good travel. And then Delia she likes hotels, so she's coming along
and makeup as well.
Makeup, and
we're both into this sort of thing as well.
Color.
Yes.
You can't tell, but I do color my my hair is actually brown
what
right
do you mean?
now.
It's lilac-ish. Can you not see? But there is a lot of things that we are very similar. Which is good.
It's good.
Okay, another one. What's the one thing you would tell me to look for in a future spouse? And here he comes. I'm joking. I'm joking.
I mean, people say, oh, that he loves God. But sometimes when it comes to looking for a spouse, you would take anything as loving God.
Right.
So you have to be careful. I wouldn't say more look for in the spouse. I would say occupy till he comes. So you want to find yourself in a place and in a space where you're so comfortable with who you are. You know how to, you could think independently and enjoy your life with or without him. So that when this person shows up, one, it's easy for you to identify somebody who has thinking and understanding that you appreciate, because you appreciate who you are. Right. So, because for me, I suppose because I grew up in Trinidad with Indian, Chinese, different races, race does not matter. But more than that, you have to know who you are. And also, if you have a relationship with God that is as close as it seems to me your relationship is with God, then you want to ask Him to guide you. You don't just want to go leaning on your own understanding and thinking, choose a guy that has this and choose a guy that has that, and you must have a belly button. Forget the belly button.
I mean, 7'8". I'm playing
it.
With the height thing, man. With that height thing. Yeah.
He must have nails. No, those things are literally a tongue. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you think about that. Me, as a mom, no tongue is better.
That's not what I meant.
No. Only joking. Yeah, but I think to me, people get hung up too much on, I would like this and I would like that. And then you forget that you have to bring something to the relationship. Right. So you go looking for this Mr. Right, and then he meets you Mrs. Wrong. That's not going to be a good thing. Yeah.
This is a word, guys. This is a word. This is a word.
Yeah. So, I think don't, as I said, don't get hung up on checklist, and then you see somebody looking like that, and the first day he treats you bad, he abuses you or something like that because he matched all the thing on the criteria, which an abuse wasn't one of them. You're like, you know what, I'll let it slide for today. No. Not. Yeah. So add that to the not list. If he tries to undermine you, embarrass you, disrespect you, then no matter how much other things you think, all of this looks good, and mistake, walk. Yeah.
And I think as we grow up, and particularly in society, we've kind of created this image of what like this ideal man looks like. And like even when we watch like TV or look at celebrities and stuff, people are like, oh, that man, he's so good and stuff. But actually, from what you're saying, we can't just be looking at the man. We also need to be looking at the woman, being like, oh, actually, they both play a role in terms of who they are. Oh, and my earring just fell out. I just pulled it out. Yeah, but they both play a role in just like who they are as individuals. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this back in. Mama, is this in?
Hold on. Mama
just killed it.
No. Just put it in. Shove the earring through the hole. Stick it in the back. That's good.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Actually, do you know what? You saying that as well. This reminds me of one time I was having a conversation with a male friend, and like there was a lot of things that physically you would think, oh, this ticks a lot of boxes, like, oh, they're tall and da. But then actually when we were just conversing, I realised there were certain things that our values weren't, the single keeps slipping. Yeah, our values weren't similar. Or certain ways that I would think about the world that they would think about it differently. I'd be like, and it would be a place where I'd be like, I actually don't agree with you. So even on a friendship level, I was like, yo, we're gonna have to talk a lot less. Because we're just gonna butt heads like this all the time, let alone like a relationship sort of level. But yeah. And next question: what extra freedom is gonna come when I turn 21? September 21, Vegas, here I come.
Okay. Hopefully you'll meet Jesus there.
Missionary of the street.
Yeah. No, I think you have to decide, really, if you want to do things differently. If by then you move into your own house, you'll have a lot of freedom. You'll have a lot of things different. If not, you'll still be abiding by our rules. Yeah, and it's not like we have any big set of rules checklist. You must do this, you must do that. No, I want you to be able to if you're trusting your life with people and calling them quote unquote friends, I don't use the word a lot, that you still remember who you are and always bring the best version of you. So if you're going out with people, wherever you go, you're not going to act like, 40 years a slave and be doing everything just to show that you're a nice person. But when you're an independent thinker and you respect the views of other people, and most of all you respect yourself, then you will know what boundaries will be good for you.
Right.
Especially as somebody who you have your, as we say in society, religious beliefs. But for us, we will say you have your Christian standards. So I think it would be important that is what governs what you do as you move forward. So whether you're 21, 31, 41, 51, like having that personal relationship with God where you feel like as I'm talking, as I'm moving forward, I'm not just, again, leaning on my own understanding. I'm not being wise in my own eyes, but I'm really asking God for guidance. Yeah, it goes a long way.
Okay. This advice, guys. This advice, man. What do you miss about not living near your siblings and parents? You've been here for some time now, so...
Yeah, I suppose, I suppose let's give the backstory really. So, we came over here, this year would be 20 years, 2000 is when we moved to the UK. Yes, yeah. So I haven't, my aunt is over here, but she lives far away. My grandmom used to live here, she passed away just over, this...
3 years.
Yeah, in a week's time. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it will be 3 years since she's passed away. So so she's not here anymore. So for me, especially because I was so close to mommy, I miss just doing things together. I used to enjoy just the banter. Thank God we have modern technology where we can talk on the phone and Zoom. But I think if I was living close to her, then I would do more for her physically and invite her to come over to the house. And so those are the things that I miss. I also miss seeing my nieces and nephews grow up, and even seeing how my sisters have changed, because every time I go back or we see each other face to face, you just realize,
chunk of time.
And then some of them have got more chunky. So like you leave and one is a baby, and then by the time you see them again, they're as tall as you. So I miss, I suppose, with my sisters, we would have been doing more things together, and we're all really interested in praying and stuff. So even though we do it a lot on Zoom, we talk more or less daily, a few times a day. But it's still sometimes just being there to hug them and jump in a taxi together, or even drive and go to the beach, and all those sort of things I used to do when I was younger. Go down to the beach with a bit of roti and
don't even. When I was younger, no.
Have your own picnic, and I remember those days. And play volleyball on the beach and. So I miss those things, but I try to use modern technology as best as I can, and make sure that you, Odelia and Jazz, and I suppose Saji as well, that connection with our families is not lost.
Right. Because that's the thing. Like when we see them, it's like no time at all has gone. So even though you're like, whoa, like in person you look like different, or you're a lot taller than you look on the camera, sort of thing, but actually
and they think the same about us.
It's true. She'd be like, oh, you're a lot smaller. That's usually what I get. You're a lot smaller. I know. But we still, like, it will be like nothing. Like we'll go out, talk and chat. It's not like, oh, let me get to know you, because we already know each other, which is nice. Okay. What are you most proud of when you think of me at age 20?
Your relationship with God is the biggest thing, because some people, it takes them a long time before they decide, okay, Lord, I'm going to give it all up to you. I'm going to surrender and say, lead me in the path that you have, carved out for me to walk on. So that's the biggest thing. In terms of earthly stuff, so to speak, I love the fact that you've been in business for over 5 years at age 20. That's a nice thing. I love the way that you help with your siblings. I love the way that we interact with each other and the way you are with Daddy. I love that you're very respectful, whether it be in church or when we meet family members. You're always willing to help. You're not disrespectful, which is a good thing as well. I remember from, I think it was about age 6 or so, when we really started saying, if you want to move up in your education, you have to do certain things, and we started working in those 21 books a day.
Yeah, I remember.
And then within a short space of time, you move from being on the second table or something to the top table, and then never look back. So because of that, you ended up being head girl and just doing well in your education, but also being able to decide, I don't want to go to university over here. If I don't get the opportunity to go to America as I want to, then I know you knew what you wanted to do in the future. So
it was a big decision and stuff. It's hard, especially when you're young. It's hard to make a decision that goes against what other people expect of you, or what society's saying you should do, or like what your school's like, oh well, usually people go down this route and stuff. So
and it's not that I had no expectations for her. I did. But the big expectation for me, or the big thing that I want for my children, is that you don't feel so pressured into going in the mold of other people, but you let God lead you and guide you. You forge your path with confidence, and you don't be lazy. You don't be lazy, and just wait for God to do things. So
thank you. Okay, one more question. It's a random one. What's a no-no in your house?
A no-no. Well, this should have been a no-no from a long time ago.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Like, there was somebody who came to the house and then they took a fork and was eating out of my plate. More than once.
I remember this. It was funny. Like, I walked past and I was like...
Especially because they know the way I am. I'm not like a super particular person.
Oh,
but
this wasn't a family member as well. Like, I have to make this clear. It wasn't like me or Dad or the girls or anything like that.
I mean, Saji and I we were looking at each other like, what is happening in front of my eyes?
Just sneaking your food.
They went for a fork and sat down and were just eating out of my plate, like,
and chatting to the people around it. that whole thing. Oh my days.
So if you're looking, you know who you are. Don't do it again. I suppose that's the big thing, really. If we invite you to our home, then it's because we value we value you, and you're welcome.
And we're not the type of people actually who just like everyone can come in and walk out and it's just like an open revolving door, but not in like a negative way. It's just that we like what's the word? That we care about our space and who we allow into our space as well. And it's like it's like the energy as well that people bring in as well. You don't want people to come in and then everyone's feeling depressed and everything like that because this person's coming with some like dark energy. Do you know what I mean? Do you get what I mean?
Not dark matters, but dark energy. I mean, we don't really use obscenity. So if you come on your effing and blinding, I think I would stop you as well, especially if you have children in the house. Oh yeah, I suppose that's another one as well.
Or a drug. I mean, why are you taking drugs in the house? Basically, the main ones, like Okay,
so no drinking and driving. into the house.
Yes. Yeah. But
Yeah.
and I think the drinking ones, well, some people are like, oh, but like with your family and stuff, but that the way that we are in the house and stuff, we don't drink. Like, it's just not our thing and stuff. So I think if someone
It's
was
definitely not my thing.
just getting drunk all the time, rolling on the floor, you'd be like,
No,
what's going on?
No.
You weren't invited.
Yeah.
The door's there.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye. But then obviously everyone has different rules for their house and stuff.
But on the other hand, when I go to people's house, I'm a lot more like things that I would allow by me. I'm cautious because I don't know how people are in their home.
It's
so
true.
I would wait to be invited to do things or ask, is it okay? Because you're just not sure. Yeah. I suppose what I wouldn't like is for people to just come and think that they could just walk into my bedroom as well. Yeah. Or into anybody's bedroom.
Any room, I feel you. I feel you with that. Yeah. And I think it takes like a certain level of trust for people to come in and go into like your fridge, for example. Like I know people who like would do that with their friends, or there's only a few people who I can think of who I would go to their house, and even now I would still ask them. I'd be like, no, don't ask, like just go and get what you need. But
family is one thing, of course. Family,
it's
you're
not
welcome.
Everyone.
Yeah,
it's not everyone like stealing your food. You know what I mean? Like,
hey, stealing the food.
Stealing. It's steal. I'm sorry. No, this is like the plate eating thing. Like if I go in to check and get that pie that I made out of the fridge and it's not there, and you didn't tell me you came and warmed it, like it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
So now we know what you'll be doing at your house. Don't enter the fridge.
I'm that. You know, people like at work, the co-workers and stuff be like, don't touch my food. This is my shelf. Don't touch my food.
Yeah, but I know what you mean when you get up for something and then you go and it's not there. Like,
not right. Stuff. But I think that's just open conversation. Like if you go and be like, oh, you know what, I'm hungry, do you mind?
Yeah, exactly.
Then that's different. Then I could be like, oh,
that's
you know
all
what?
it takes, people.
I was actually feeling for that pie, but because you're hungry, it's okay. Or I'll split it with you, or no.
And then people have to be willing to hear no and accept it as well. Yeah. Like you're not being rude to people sometimes by saying no. But you have your preference, and people have their preference. If they tell me no, I have to understand. Even if I say ouch, I need to understand that they're not like really trying to be mean to me or something. Yeah.
And you don't know what people are going through as well. That could be like one of the last meals they have until they get money in the bank to go shop. Like you don't know what people are going through and stuff. And the thing is, when you go to people's houses, people go and meet people, they show the best side of them. So you don't know, unless they're so open with you that they've been telling you, actually, this is the last bit of food that we have until payday or whatever. Then you just never know. Yeah. So let's not steal food. That's the moral of that whole conversation. So this is it. Yeah, this is it.
Yep, hope you all enjoyed it. Hope the answers wasn't just entertainment, but you got something somewhere.
I did, definitely. I definitely did. There's a lot of great nuggets and stuff that I take back. I think I'm going to be watching back this video and being like, let me just write that down in my journal.
And she goes through journals like nobody's business.
Literally. Oh, it's good. It helps me process, me and the Lord.
Alright guys, so until another video, it's Dr. Norva and
Shernorva
signing out. God bless.
Bye.
Bye.